Irish Nation. Today is the day that I finally get to sign with the University of Notre Dame, the greatest school in the world, the greatest team in the world, the greatest fans in the world. I can't wait. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to get to play for y'all next fall. I love it. Irish Nation, Shamrock Soldier 15, baby.
Brandon is a very similar player to Elijah in the fact that he's explosive and powerful, but Brandon is very long and very athletic. Brandon actually plays basketball. And on the basketball court, you can see his ability to bend and move, and so he's very athletic that way.
Loading up on defensive tackle types, you know, this is probably the most important need that they had in this class. You know, Tiassum's a guy that, you know, again, another big athletic kid who could play that 3 technique, is used to playing a little bit more in space. You know, could play a 0 if you needed him to in a 3-4 set. You know, a very good pass rusher as well. Saw him at Semper Fi also, you know, and he and Micah Treadway, sort of, both of them remind me of each other. They're both very good at using their hands and getting people off of them, getting offensive linemen off balance, and good pass rushers. Whereas, you know, the Tilleries of the world are going to be your run stuffers. These guys can do a little bit of both and also string plays out to the outside.
I'm down in Indianapolis, but he comes from Park Tudor High School. Plays in a really small conference. He plays on a football team with about 30 players. And Brandon does so many things for the team. I want to say I watched one game this year. He didn't even leave the field other than for kickoff. You know, he's not going to run down the field on kickoff, but he plays offensive line, defensive line. He plays on all the other special teams, the punt unit. And Brandon's just a great team player that, you know, he understands all the values that it takes to be successful at Notre Dame.
Brandon, to me, another big-bodied kid. Now, he's all of about 6'5", 285 pounds or so, and so he's got that frame, and he's raw. You know, he's right now he's just a big athlete that's learning the position and learning how to use his hands, learning how to do all the little smaller things that allow him to be a great defensive lineman. But his upside is really high. And because he can move, because he can really, you know, because he's got great feet naturally, and because he has that big 6'5" frame, I really think that he is a kid that maybe in 2 or 3 years is going to be one that is dominant and making major impacts on the defensive front.
He had an eye-opening experience when he went from the end of his football season to the All-Star game out in Los Angeles. He played actually with Micah Treadway and a few other guys. And that was really Brandon's first experience of being on a football field with guys that are similar to him, guys that are as big as him and as powerful and as athletic as him. So he understands, you know, what he needs to get to now after going through that experience, and that's driven him. I think he's a better basketball player now because he's pushing himself. He can't go in the weight room as much. He can't prepare himself on the football field, but he's preparing himself physically on the basketball court to get ready to be pushing on those big guys.
Brandon's a big guy. And, you know, he's bigger than Taylor and Micah do when you see him. Just a big, quick-footed ball player. Competition level in Indianapolis in his league, maybe not the greatest, but you know what he does? He dominates that competition. That's all you have to do when you're playing.